Okay then, good afternoon everyone. How is everyone feeling this morning? Good. Has everyone enjoyed the morning activities that we've experienced so far? Yes? Could I have everyone's attention just for 1 minute? Well, actually for 50 minutes, but I thought I'd make it easy to get your attention. There we go. Thank you so much. So, I hope you've enjoyed the wonderful experiences we've put together for you this morning. And welcome to our ConnecTALKS, the golden age of travel in the GCC. We're privileged to welcome delegates from the GCC, Indian subcontinent, and around the world. Coming together in Oman, our aim is to achieve two things. First, we want to discover how and why the Middle East is fast becoming a luxury hotspot for the modern traveler. And number two, understand the power of the GCC as a source market for global tourism. We have a room full of leaders in luxury travel, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear what your challenges are, your objectives, and where you think the industry is headed. So this is a two-way thing. You're not going to be looking at a presentation for the whole time. We want to hear from you. Before we turn to our discussions, I'd like to first introduce you to Sarah Hedley Hymers. Sarah joined Jacobs Media Group in 2021 as the editorial director of its Middle East flagship, ConnecTALKS. Over more than a decade in the Middle East, Sarah specializes in travel and hospitality, previously producing and presenting food and travel shows, as well as being a destination expert for The Telegraph. Sarah also worked at Condé Nast Travel in Middle East, launching the brand's video platform, website, and moderating travel discussions. So we're very lucky to have Sarah in attendance, and it's with great pleasure that I hand over to Sarah. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and thanks for your time today. I want to take you on a time travel adventure to the year 2030 and the epicenter of luxury in the Middle East, which is, of course, the GCC. The GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, comprises of these 6 countries, and each of these countries has a really strong vision that will lead to a very exciting future. Now, there are some big projects and dreams in the pipeline, and with this kind of rapid change comes an abundance of opportunity, which is what I want to talk to you all about today. Whether you are serving the inbound traveller keen to explore the luxuries of the GCC, or the affluent GCC-based outbound traveller. So let's look, first of all, at the inbound traveller. Now, these are the reasons that I feel we are destined to enter the golden age of travel in the GCC by 2030. So if you look, strategic location, 80% of the world's population is within a 6-hour flight from this area. Air connectivity, things that we never thought we would see in our lifetime. Flights to Israel from Bahrain and from the UAE. Another new flight path. Saudi Arabia has just signed a memorandum of understanding with Jamaica, which is going to open up the Caribbean to this destination and vice versa. The luxury of safety. Now, I believe that safety is actually the biggest luxury you can give any of your clients. If you're in the luxury market, safety is what they want now. And not just safety in low COVID rates, which we have, high vaccinations, which we have, but also in crime. And if you look around the world, the UAE came second in one ranking of 134 countries for the lowest crime rates, and the other GCC countries were all in the top 5. Qatar was voted either first or second safest in the Numbeo index for the last 5 years. So this is a place that you can come and feel completely safe, and that is something that money just can't buy. Easy visas. The visa situation has changed phenomenally. So you had Saudi in 2019, you couldn't get a visa to Saudi. Now it's open to 48 countries. And Oman is actually one of the most open. There's 103 visa-free countries coming here. So easy visas is a huge growth driver. And of course, the tourism visions, which I mentioned earlier. So let's take a quick look at those. Oman's golden age of travel. As you heard from His Excellency earlier, we are in the process of opening 14 new tourist hubs all across the Sultanate, and that will diversify some of the interest away from Muscat and into the wider country, which is absolutely brimming with hidden gems. So one of those 14 is the Musandam Peninsula, the coastline. If anybody hasn't been diving there, that is apparently one of the most top bucket list experiences in the GCC. And another one is the Frankincense Trail of Dhofar, and I have just come back from that. I live in Dubai, but I just went on holiday to Oman because I love the place. And Salalah is beautiful. When I was a kid growing up, there was a Chinese restaurant, and it used to have a light box of a waterfall, and I used to think it looked very unrealistic, and it did in that Chinese restaurant on the light box vintage wall art. But you go to Salalah, and that is what it looks like. These amazing waterfalls. I've never seen anything like it. It's on my Instagram, at Hedley Hymers, if anyone wants to look at that. So you've got these 14 places that will be in development, and they will be halfway to creating 500,000 jobs in tourism. That's 5 times more than we have now here, and 11.7 million visitors to Oman. So that's what's in the pipeline for them. Let's look at Saudi Arabia. Headline grabbing Saudi Arabia. 100 million tourists by 2030. This was the place I was just talking about that wasn't open to international tourists in 2019. So that's pretty amazing. Cruise is one of the big things that is going to drive travel there. We're going to have 50,000 cruise jobs created by 2035. Then you've got projects like the Red Sea Project, which is 90 islands in the most beautiful waters. Think Maldives, and you're in the right ballpark. Then you've got NEOM, 500 billion investment, and this place is like the future. There's air velocity taxis going up and down. It just looks phenomenal. But I want to show you one now, which is my favourite, and this is the one that I'm most excited about going to. I don't know, you know in Bond films at the end where there's always an offshore place where the baddie lives and James goes and blows it up? This is the rig. Okay, so just take a look. Looks pretty cool, right? So that's the first place I'll be going when that opens. Qatar, 6 million tourists by 2030, 100 new hotels, a lot of them in time for the FIFA World Cup. Among them, I'm very excited to announce that St. Regis the Pearl, which is just going to be amazing, and Waldorf Astoria. So cruise is also going to be huge in Qatar. They're doubling up the capacity at their port, and it was bringing in 200,000 passengers, will be 300,000 passengers. So cruise is a great thing to be in the GCC right now. It's also worth noting that Qatar wins the best airport of the year, every year, all of the time, by Skytrax and every other ranking. So it does really, really well. So next we have Kuwait. Kuwait is in the middle of developing its airport, Terminal 2. That will bring in 25 million passengers by 2030. And they will be able to enjoy the new developments like a 7.3-kilometre Corniche with a museum and a mall and lots of nice touristic things to see and do. What's more interesting is this NES, Northern Economic Development. So it's now accessible via a massive causeway that reaches out to it. And it was previously empty, and now it's going to be developed, and it's at the junction of Asia and the Middle East. So it's going to form part of the Silk Road re-establishment with lots of investment from China. So that's a really interesting time to be in Kuwait. Bahrain's doing something similar. They're creating 5 new cities, which will give them 60% more urban landmass when they're finished. So, like, imagine if you woke up and your apartment was 60% bigger the next day, how much more money it would be worth. And that is where Bahrain is going. It's also got its second causeway that it's opened, and it's launching the Bahrain Metro, so people will be able to explore. So, the UAE, I think everybody knows the UAE, they had a head start. And because they had such a big head start, they are understandably ahead in figures, but they're going to be even further ahead. 25 million visitors to Dubai by 2025. People said they couldn't do it with Expo, and I think everybody's seen with Expo, it passed the 20 million mark a week ago. I'm sure it's probably at 25 now. And they intend to attract these 25 million people with a lot more hotels, which is, you think, how many more hotels can there be? But you can see this amazing cantilever architecture there. That's One Zabeel, one and only One Zabeel. And it's One and Only's first urban resort. So that's among the new hotels that are opening and causing a lot of excitement in the market. The other, of course, is the Royal Atlantis, which will hopefully be open this year. And don't tell anyone I told you this, but I've been invited to a press conference tomorrow by Michelin, and I believe that it's going to announce that Michelin will be coming to Dubai. They're not confirming anything, but my spies tells me launching in July. So you didn't hear it from me. Abu Dhabi, they have 23 million visitors pegged for 2030, and they are definitely going in the right direction. They've also decided to try and be a culinary hub. So they recently launched MENA's 50 Best, part of the world's 50 Best, the first in the region. And they've got a 3-year contract with Reed to pull that out. And that will put them on the foodie map. In addition to that, they're launching the Guggenheim. And this week they announced that they're launching the Natural History Museum of Abu Dhabi as well. So lots going on all the time, so much investment. Ras Al Khaimah, or Ras Al Khaimah, sorry, I should get the pronunciation right. I just went there last month. They intend to attract 3 million visitors with their outdoor offerings. They've got Bear Grylls Survival Camp. They've got the new Jay's Sledder, which is like a toboggan that goes around a mountain, but on metal tracks instead of snow. That look a lot more painful if you fell on them. And their biggest attraction is the Jay's Flight, which I will show you what that looks like from the helmet.
Walk over here.
Oh, okay. Oh my God! Oh, yep. Right, but it's not over yet. My knees are like jelly. Whoa! Okay.
Walk over here.
Okay. So, you can see there's lots of fun to be had in Ras Al Khaimah. Now, let's look at the other side of that traffic. So, the power of the GCC as a source market. 61 million departures predicted for 2030. And I think the reason why we've got so many people travelling is because they are affluent. It's a tax-free haven. People have got the money to go where they want to go, and they've also got a really elevated taste for luxury. And I'll tell you for why. When you live in this part of the world, which I have done for 13 years almost, you get used to 5-star hotels. They are the sort of piazzas or the plazas, the town squares that we hang out in. It's where we go to get our hair done. It's where we go for a coffee. And it's just the way it is because fundamentally it's too hot to hang about outside. We can't have that high street environment. So this is why the GCC traveller has such elevated tastes for luxury. Also, GCC spends big. So the stats say up to $3,000 per trip overseas, and that is 6 times higher than the average. So you're looking at a much bigger spend, and the overall spend is set to be over 200 million by 2030. So it's definitely a market worth investing in. And before all those millions are spent overseas, obviously people are spending here on the travel agents to plan the trips, the insurance and everything else. And that is set to be worth 30 billion in the UAE alone and 27 billion in Saudi. So there's money to be made and deals to be done. So let's look at what the travel agents and tourism boards are saying about this destination. The GCC is the UK's second most valuable source market, bringing in 3.5 billion in pre-pandemic 2019, when 1 million GCC travellers went to the UK. Switzerland is among the countries in Europe booking the trend at the moment for already outstripping those pandemic numbers. Pre-pandemic, it's gone up 19.5%, and this is in the current climate. So that's how quickly GCC travellers were back on their feet and back out travelling, well ahead of the rest of the world. And then we've got a lot of new emerging markets. So for example, we talked about Japan earlier. Japan is among the countries who have just opened a tourist office in the region dedicated to growing that GCC market after they had record figures from the GC in 2019. So, they're all the reasons why it's a good time to be working in travel with the GCC. We're going to look at now a couple of the reasons, top 10 reasons, why people in the GCC book their holidays. This is a survey that was done by the World Travel Organization. So these are their top 10 reasons. But what I feel they are missing out on is, in fact, the key thing here is FOMO. The reason why we here book our travel is because we see it online. We see somebody else has got it. We see somebody else has done it. And we're like, we want that. And that FOMO basically comes down to good marketing. So I want to point out Paula Lacey, who's just over there. She is the expert in this area. It's a whole nother slideshow, but seek her out if you want to know how to get to market properly. And that is my Connect talk. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I'm going to pass you back on to Greg.
It's actually going to be Alex, Sarah. But thank you so much for this very insightful session, for being here with us, and for sharing your knowledge. Really appreciate it. So, what's going to happen next? We want to hear from you guys. So we want to encourage as much conversation as possible, learning and opportunity over these 2 days. And that's why we have assigned you a specific seats for this session. You will find on each of your tables a specific topic that's for your discussion, and it's written on a piece of paper. So for example, here on this table, can you see your topic? It's there. So you should all have one. So from motivation to travel and the role of the travel advisor to sustainability and technology, each table will find their assigned topic. You will see that your topic has been split into 2 different prompts. One is relevant to the supplier and the other one is relevant to the buyer. We'll be choosing a few tables to present the trends, challenges, and solutions that you have come up with as a group. And you will need to nominate a speaker and deliver this in just 90 seconds.
Exactly. Thank you, Alex. So you're going to want to listen to this bit because I come with a warning, and that warning is that nobody can hide from this exercise, okay? So please listen to these 3 steps very clearly. Step number 1, you need to nominate a speaker on your table. Step number 2 is to discuss the topic for 10 minutes and consolidate your answers. And step number 3, which is the best bit for Alex and I, we pick on people to present their summary in only 90 seconds. So that's the mission. So you have 10 minutes starting now. looked like everyone was bustling. Every table was very busy sharing information and ideas. And now it's time to pick on a few tables to present back what they've discussed. And to start with, I'm going to pick on the table that's still talking, table number 3. Over here, we're talking about unique offerings. And who's your speaker? David. David, this comes with a warning. At the end of 90 seconds, there's a klaxon.
I know.
Oh, you've experienced it before.
I've gone through this one before, so let's get it.
Over to you.
Okay. So our topic is unique offerings. For the buyers, they say Slovenia because of the green, fresh, and outdoor. Another destination is Europe, in particular to Switzerland, and to Italy, to Lake Como, and for the beach will be Hawaii, Guam. The cities will be Paris, New York, and Las Vegas. For our sellers, the unique, surprising, and unexpected things that they can offer to their clients. Again, it is outdoor. There's activities will be outdoor, and also what, igloo camping, is it something like that in Finland? Igloo? Okay, something to do with igloo. You can camp outside and in the winter. And city tour in a convertible in Muscat. Zip lining in Jabal Abda, which is 2,000 meters above sea level, rock climbing, and a camel ride on the beach. So welcome and join table number 3.
Good job, table number 3. Well done, David. So I'm going to go to table 17. And who is the speaker here? Laurie Collins. I'm not surprised. There you go, 90 seconds.
Hey, how's it going? Salam alaikum. Laurie Collins, the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Shangri-La. Our lovely question is experience economy number 4. Buyers, what experiences do your clients travel for? They want to be pampered. They want to feel special. But most importantly, they don't want it to be fake. They want it genuine and they want it authentic. And that's why you're going to be selling Oman. They want bragging rights. One of the new trends is they actually want to do something that you can't Google. Okay? They want to be able to go back to their travel advisor and say, oh my gosh, that was the best experience ever. My travel advisor found me something that cannot be found anywhere else. And they used to travel to see the world. However, now they travel for the world to see them. We've got to get on top of that. More immersive culture. They want to meet the locals. They definitely want to make a mate, have a friend. And in Oman, that's going to be your tour guide or your driver. Allow flexibility. And then from a supplier's point, what particular experiences are we finding? Many different ones. Ones you mentioned, but most importantly, I think we're finding the expectations are very demanding. Yeah? Hotels are busy, flights are busy. I think they need to be a little bit more appreciative. But in saying that, we believe that be flexible and make it fun.
Good job.
Great work, Laurie. Great work. So now we're over to table number 1. Who's the speaker over here? Oh, you, the chosen one. And that's 90 seconds, Nina, starting now.
Speaking slowly. Hi guys, I'm Nina, I'm from London, I'm independent travel agent. We was talking about motivation to travel, and from the buyer perspective, we decided that people looking for experiences, for new things to experience, for new places to visit. They need travel for their mental health, especially now after these 2 crazy years. They need something to just relax and forget about the problems of the past. God, so much time left. from suppliers' point of view, what you guys can do is like help to organize the unique experiences, unique places, make people feel special by organizing things which are just for the particular destination, like one place you can go and experience the things. Time is going very slow. It's the longest 19 seconds. Thank you.
Right, so where am I gonna go next? I have a volunteer here, table number 6. Is it Savina? There you go, 90 seconds.
Thank you. All right, my name is Sabina, and we have had the topic sustainability with the prompts from the buyer's perspective. How can the trade start driving consumer demand and help be those agents of change? And from the supplier's perspective is sustainability an active strategy within your brand? And we were talking about experiences when it comes to in the Omani region for the 3 to 5 years, it has increased demands in the sustainability and how to take care of the planet in a good way. There is a challenge though, because the guests coming from the close region, they are used to a high level of luxury, like having the sheets changed twice a day and having bottled water and everything, while people from the buyers from European is the opposite, and that is a challenge for the resorts and these properties. And we were talking about how the suppliers, if the suppliers are conscious of the environment, and if the suppliers is not, even though it's both luxury, well, obviously the client will choose the one being conscious of the environment. And also, very quick, we were talking about sustainability and what it is.
Thank you so much for that. I like the new sound effects, Adam. Well done. So now we're over to table number 7, where we're going to be, what are we discussing here? Defining luxury. Who's our speaker? Table number 7. Over to you, Anne.
I'm going to be honest, there's 2 things I need to say. I am standing up, and the other one is we actually never got to the supplier. We were so busy talking about the buyer's perspective. So what we talked about was what is luxury. Clear, we've all said it's luxury is different to different people. What we really talked about is different to different ages. And we're finding that our millennials, their idea of luxury is doing whatever they want to do. And they want to do it. And thank you, Sandy, who stole my line about the mountain. Anyway, so what they want to do is something different. They want to do something that tickles their senses. They don't necessarily need a luxury property, but they don't mind it. That's our younger group, and they do climb to the top of the mountain, so the world can see them. In terms of our other FIT clients or our small group clients, they want the cocktail party conversation. That cocktail party conversation is your client says, hey, somebody says, I just went to Peru. Your client said, oh my gosh, did they read poetry to you at the top of Machu Picchu? And the other guy says, no. So that's our responsibility, is to create that kind of luxury that's not something you can necessarily buy. Sometimes you need a helicopter. Sometimes you just need to be really creative. And that's when people come back with an experience that's luxurious, that has really There you go. Sorry.
That was amazing, Anne. Thank you.
Well done, that was amazing. So table number 8, and the speaker is Juliet, right? 90 seconds.
Hi, I'm Juliet from Muscat Bay. We've been talking about 2023 opportunities, particularly in marketing and social media. So from a buyer's perspective, What really has changed is that authenticity and relatability has become more important than ever, and that the channels that are best used obviously are Instagram, particularly with Reels, because the algorithm really helps you get more visibility, use more dynamic content, and really create videos and stories that are relatable. And then obviously TikTok, which I think we're all just dipping our feet into slowly. The most important tool, though, especially in this region, has become WhatsApp, either for broadcast, when you want to share what you've just been doing, so you can share this authentically and in a relatable way, but also for like conversion, actually sending out contracts and proposals to make the work really fast. I think from a supplier side, the question was more about what are we doing to help drive that? And for us, it's also stepping away from that traditional, or we take a big hotel photo shoot, but more like storytelling about the destination, the beauty of Oman, the mountains, the sea, what you can actually do here, and doing this in an authentic way. And we've discovered that we've all started using our personal Instagram accounts a lot more, in addition to our business accounts, to like show people what we've been doing, what we've been getting up to, what our families are experiencing, and in that way creating that authentic relatability and talking about the life that we're living here. I think that sums it up. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I think it would be criminal of me not to pick on my chairman's table, table number 5, where we've got the topic, we're discussing technology over here. So, with pleasure, over to you.
Thank you so much. Sure. So we're talking about technology. Today, our mobile phone is like a globe. You know, where is the need for a travel agent or a travel partner in terms of technology is concerned? So there's so much of information available, and a travel partner really helps you connecting the right dots. So from the buyer's perspective, you know, what has driven in terms of technological changes? So there's a lot of social media which is driving the trend towards traveling. Young travelers, you know, teenagers are taking the way forward in terms of the planning of the family vacations, and that has got a lot to do with technology, the way we've been seeing social media. Reviews is, TripAdvisor reviews is another mechanism which is helping travel partners connect and, you know, read the right resort or experiences. From the supplier side, you know, the changes that technology has taken through, you know, in the post-pandemic area is a lot of virtual tools that have come into picture, a lot of digitalization in terms of creating itineraries, on the way everything has to be well connected. So a lot of DMC partners have come up with online portals where you can make quotations, and everything is instant. So that is something which has changed in the era with technology. So even though there is a lot of technological advances available, a human touch is still required from the hotel or the DMC partner with the travel agent, you know, based on the local country who's traveling and planning the vacation for a guest. So I feel even though technology has come a long way, human touch is still required for the luxury segment that we're talking about. Thank you.
Perfect, great. So table 14, who's the speaker here? Simo? There you go, 19 seconds.
Willkommen, no, I'm just kidding. Hey everybody, I'm Mo Nubani, salaam alaikum. So we had on our table, we were discussing motivation to travel for the buyer and for the supplier. What are the initiatives that you and services that you're offering to help fulfill this motivation? I think one thing we agreed on also, depending on the region that you're in, we've seen different habits of buyers changing, depending also on closures. When the region has opened up, that pent-up demand has kind of shifted and changed in the timeline of that traveler, which also changed their perception and what the suppliers are doing. The suppliers, from their side, what we've been hearing and what they've been sharing with us is initiatives they've done is things like adding more privacy, to have more flexibility in how they're promoting in their marketing to the buyers and travelers, cancellation policies, which is also very important to the buyers in these days, to know that they have an out in case because things are changing constantly, and they're offering more things of staycations and the approach that they're targeting this buyer. With the clients traveling in general, obviously the big motivations being what we all agree on, you know, the explore, rejuvenate, state of mind, getaway, but also post-pandemic is people now realize they want to do what they want to do and life is short. So whatever that kind of reasoning is for that specific buyer, they're going for it because today, tomorrow's not promised, and that's what we're seeing with today's buyers. So that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Thank you so much.
We love that. Thank you so much. I was hoping you were going to keep the song going, to be honest, but great responses anyway. So we've got time to choose one more table, and that table is going to be table number 4. So who's going to be the spokesperson? It's going to be Muna.
Woo! So they just bullied me just now. Okay, so we were talking about experiences in general. And again, someone stole our line. We were talking about bragging rights, especially for people in the GCC and the MENA region. And we also talked about, it depends where your clients are from. So for me, like, people from the GCC want different things than people from the UK. So I guess more Europeans would like authenticity, sense of place, cultural, of the beaten track. Here, it's really more of, I want people to have FOMO from me, not me FOMO from other people. So they want this bragging rights. And I think we can, I can talk about an experience that we talked about to give an example. So there was this family going to the Maldives, and they wanted exclusive experiences for their children, and they're high net worth individuals. So I mean, they have everything in their house. So what do you do for them? So we flew in a lady from Australia, and she was a champion sandcastle builder. And she was building sandcastles for the children for the whole 5 days. And then there was another one where we got Massimo Bottura to cook for our clients in a museum for old cars. I mean, these are the type of experiences people want. Also, like for
Thank you, Mina. That was amazing. So thanks, everybody, for getting behind this session. That was amazing insight, and we really value your contribution. I saw some pretty dodgy handwriting, but if you can keep your notes on the table, we would love to pick those up, because we're going to produce an insight report after the event. So I'm sure everyone's feeling pretty hungry after this morning's experiences, and you'll be glad to know it's time for lunch. But first, we're going to take this opportunity to take a group photo. So Angelo, can you wave your arm over there, please? We're going to be following Angelo outside, where we've stationed a photo opportunity for all of us together. So when you're ready, please follow Angelo. Thanks, everybody.